Yesterday's high day, guys, went down. We did, and there's a physique update as well. That was actually like 2 days ago now. So yeah, we are currently, let me sort out this terrible haircut that I got. I'm going to be shaving it off tomorrow, I think. We're going to be going super short because I just can't deal with this hair. It's dead at the moment, like, so yeah, I think it's best to just get rid of it, guys, and then grow it back out and get a perm done again. Anyway, yeah, so yesterday did a high day. I just wanted to talk briefly about this. So it's Wednesday today. Obviously, I fly out on Friday, so not long left. I kind of, I'm thinking about taking, obviously I'm going to take a rest day on the Friday itself because it's going to be a travel day. But potentially I might take a rest day tomorrow. I'm going to train legs today. I'm not sure if I'm going to film that because I kind of just want to focus. But yeah, let me get into what I was talking about the high day, because I think this is something where maybe some people can take some value from this. What I did previously, so yeah, when you're doing a high day, guys, there's two reasons why you would do a high day, right? The first one is to replenish glycogen stores, right? To give your body respite from being in a calorie deficit, to reset your leptin levels and your ghrelin levels, like they're the hormone signaling signals in the body. So you want to kind of reset them levels. And how do we do that? We put our body out of a deficit, we go into a surplus, we replenish glycogen and so on. The second reason is basically it's kind of like it's a rubbish way to say it, but it's to give your mind a bit of a rest from the diet and to give yourself some foods that you kind of enjoy while you're kind of slightly filling out and carbing up at the same time. However, the typical foods that I like to consume, and probably most other people, it is your dirty sort of foods, guys, like your burgers, your fries, your pizzas. Like, that's what I like to eat, that like junk food, right? The problem with that food is it contains high calories, but majority of the calories are coming from fats. Yes, there's going to be a ton of carbohydrates in there also, but there's also going to be some protein mixed in. When we're carbing up and we're replenishing glycogen stores, we want to minimize the amount of fat contained as much as possible. Why? Because this is going to drive up calories when the calories are already going to be relatively high because the carbohydrates are going to be high. And it's just going to offset you for a few days post the refeed, which is not what you want to intend to do, guys. Really, we want to replenish glycogen as quick as possible and then get back into a deficit and a diet phase, just back into a deficit post the refeed as quick as possible so we can get back to burning body fat again. So having that kind of high fat meals in a refeed day is just like stupid, guys. So you see people, bodybuilders potentially, they're doing burgers and fries day before shows, this sort of thing, right? And I wanted to try it out. I've done it now and again throughout the prep. I've had some Five Guys burgers and fries. I've done the homemade burgers on some refeed days. But we're getting close to the show now, guys. So last week I figured if I'm going to do this, I need to do it now sooner rather than later, because it's not something you want to do. If I was to do it like peak week, for example, I could mess up my whole peak week, right? Because I just go into way too much spillover, surplus calories, and you're digging off, and your look is not going to be great. So I tried it out 3 weeks out, basically. And I had that problem, guys. My scale weight went up by like 3 to 4 pounds overnight. It was a spilled look. The look wasn't great. Yes, I was a bit full, but it just, I felt bloated. It just was not a good look, right? Did I enjoy the burger, fries, and the ice cream and the cakes? Yeah, of course I did. It was amazing. But I realized I was doing it more out of a case of I wanted to enjoy that food, give my mental thing a break, like I was talking about, versus is this optimal for the look? Is this optimal for presenting the best look on stage? So better to make that mistake sooner rather than later, which is what I did. So I carved up yesterday now, right? So you got to learn from the data, guys. You got to track the data in a contest prep, see how your body responds, and then refine and adjust it from there. So yesterday I did a high day. In terms of the calories, I'm on a low day now for me. I'm doing around 1400, 1500 calories per day. So on that high day I was talking about, the calories were around about the same, guys. It was around about 3,300 on the first time I did it. And yesterday was also 3,300. However, the look is way different. How I carved up, how I had my high day was different. So the first time I told you, my weight shot up by 3 pounds, 4 pounds. The look wasn't good, felt bloated, and it took me a good few days before my physique started to look good again. In terms of like water retention off, glycogen stores lowered a little bit, you know, the lines and the detail coming through my physique better. So this time around, I did more of a cleaner carb. I say cleaner carb, I mean what is classed as clean or not clean. But basically my fats were a lot lower. So for example, on that first day I just talked about, my fat content was around 180 grams. Can you believe it? My protein was also at like 180, 190 grams. And then obviously my carbs being through the roof as well. This time around, my carbohydrates were higher than the first time. They were at around 500 grams, right? My fat content was lower. It was around 70 grams. And my protein was around about the same. 190 I think I had yesterday. The look on wake this morning, way, way, way better. But it wasn't perfect. It can be improved on, guys. And that is what I'm planning on doing for the following week. So potentially we will do another refeed day just at the beginning of peak week, just to give our body a bit of glycogen, a bit of respite. Obviously it's Wednesday now, so I need to see kind of what the scale weight is looking like come Monday or Sunday night or Sunday. Then I can potentially do it on the Monday, and then we would dig back down going into the show, going into the middle of peak week, and then we'd carb back up again. So the things that I noted down for myself was, I'll tell you what foods I had first. So this video is going to be boring, guys, because I'm not overlaying any clips, but I hope you can take some value from this, just from me talking. I hope I'm explaining it correctly and in a good way here. But yeah, the typical foods that I had. I didn't plan this high day, guys. So initially I just had my normal meals, hence why I had a little bit too much fat in the actual day itself. So I just went with my normal meals of 4 eggs in the morning. I had chicken and rice, my normal meal, but it was low amount of rice. It was about 33 grams, so about 30 grams carbs. I had a protein bar. After I trained, as I was working out, I realized, like, I was looking at my physique as I was training, guys, and I did a push session, so chest, shoulders, arms. And I was thinking, and I know I have legs today, right? So then I was thinking, as I was training, I was like, I was trying to see, I was like, I look somewhat full, but I know my physique, and I know my physique looks full even when it's not full. It's flat, and I can feel it, and I know that response. So I was just debating, do I do a high carb day or do I do a low carb day? And I decided throughout my session I'm going to do a high carb day. So immediately when I got home, I had 100 grams of Cocoa Pops with 500 mils of almond milk, because I'm not doing a protein shake with my cereal. That's just, it tastes horrible. But there's like 60 calories in the almond milk. It's pretty much water. After that, I had like these protein cookies. Then what did I have? Then I had a massive bowl of oats with loads of fruit, dates, dark chocolate. Yeah, then after that I had bagels, 2 bagels, and they're big bagels, guys, with another banana, also more dates, also a load of jam on it. And that was my meals for the day. Woke up this morning and I was exactly 1 pound up only, guys. So this is a telling response where, yeah, we've replenished glycogen. It's shown me that my body needed that high day. If I would have pushed beyond a pound, like maybe 2 pounds, 3 pounds, then that's where you're entering overspilling territory. When I've gone up 1 pound, I'm pretty much saying, like, I can see from that data, one, the visuals were pretty good in the morning, and then two, based on just the scale weight alone, we've replenished glycogen a little bit, but we've not overspilled. If anything, we probably still had room for more carbohydrates, right? Based on the look and also scale weight. So it was a perfect time to do a refeed, that's for sure. And obviously it's going to fuel my leg session today now, hopefully. And like I said, my glycogen stores weren't fully maxed out. But the things that I would change, I feel like my body would respond better to a bit more of a variety of carbohydrates. So yeah, I had a mix of carbs in there, but I went a little bit too much fructose. Yeah, we want fructose. It's going to be fast in terms of the insulin response. You're going to have a spike in insulin. Also contains a lot of micronutrients, which is also very, very good. Also a lot of fiber, but you don't want to go too much in terms of, it's fine to carb up on fruits, but you don't want too much of it. I went too heavy on the fruits yesterday, guys. So I decided next time around I'm going to include some fruits, but it's going to look something like, it'll have fruits in my first meal, the next meal will be rice, and it'll be a lot more of rice, then the next meal will be a bit more fruits again, and then the last meal will be a bit more of clean carbs again, probably a bit more oats but with less fruit, right? And that is my thought process behind it. And then the second change I'm going to make, the fats need to stay as low as possible. And when I mean low, I mean like pretty much coming from trace, because even in oats and stuff there's trace fats. So I'm going to have to, as much as I don't want to do this, guys, but when again we're doing this for the look, for performance, it's not for enjoyment, right? That comes after the bodybuilding shows are done. Then we can start enjoying our diet again. Right now it's about efficiency and doing what is right for the end look, and the having high fat, even 70 grams too much. So when I have my oats, for example, I love dark chocolate on my oats, but we're gonna have to reduce it, guys, because I need my fats ideally around 20 to 30 grams, if possible, even with the trace on this high day. It's gonna help with better digestion. It's not going to slow down the digestion and the absorption of the carbohydrates into the muscle. However, we do need a bit of fat in the diet still, and it can kind of help. You hear people say it can help stick the carbs on the frame, stick the carbs into the muscle, and yeah, that's kind of true. But you can do that the day before you carb up, guys. You can do what's called a fat load. So you can increase your carbohydrates, you can decrease your carbs, increase your fats the day before. That's going to saturate your muscle with, I think it's 15% inside the muscle. Basically, we've got around 15%, I think it is, of triglycerides. I can never say that word, but it's basically fat stored in the muscle through fats, and that is around 15%. The rest of it comes from glycogen stores, comes from carbohydrate wise in the muscle, and predominantly the muscle is carbohydrate wise stores. So we can fat load before, and then we can keep the carbs extremely low on the first high day. And then when you taper your carbs down into the show, that's when you can start tapering up your fats again. Because if the look is very, very good and you're happy with it, then you want to hold that look. How do we hold that look? We lower carbohydrates and we just increase the fats, right? And obviously protein stays as it is, but that's going to also go back to baseline. So that's kind of how we do it, guys. And the other thing that I wanted to note was, I can have a little bit more carbs, but it's going to come from the rice, as I mentioned. And then in terms of the protein could be lowered. I don't really need my protein on the high carb day at like 180, 190 grams. Typically, like on a high carb day, we're not really trying to go maximize on the protein intake. However, you still need a decent amount of protein, I would say. But if my body weight is 160 pounds, I probably want to be doing maximum around 120 to 130 grams of protein for that day, which I haven't been doing. I've been going higher, 180, 190, sometimes 200. So that is the other adjustment that I'm going to be making, guys, when it comes to the loading. Hopefully we get to load again one more time before the show as like a trial kind of peak again. I'm definitely expecting that I'm not going to need a ton of carbohydrates going into this show. The first one, reason being, I'm just not conditioned enough. So there's more chance of you spilling over and having a worse look. If you're not conditioned, guys, ready for a show, fully peeled, you're better off just doing like a kind of top-up days just to replenish your glycogen stores a little bit while keeping the lines, keeping the detail, and keeping the conditioning as good as possible. So going forward now, I'm going to be digging quite a lot, guys. We're going to be doing a lot of low days after this day. Today's going to be kind of a moderate day, seeing as this legs, just baseline day in terms of carbohydrates. Probably going to run like something like 100 grams, 150 grams today, and then we're going to taper it down after that, and then we're going to, like I said, bump it back up for one day, maybe Monday, and then drop back down, and then we'll go into the show. So that's kind of how it's going to look, guys. Looking at my physique today, I was not like fully satisfied with it, but I was like, okay, I can start to see kind of a decent physique, that one that I potentially, with another 10 days or so, which is what I have, I got about 10 days, we can definitely dig a bit more body fat off. And my physique at the moment, losing another pound of body fat would look pretty decent on stage, I believe, especially as I'm doing classic, guys. So the trunks are slightly different, so I'm not going to be showing off my glutes and so on. The conditioning, my glutes are starting to come in, but it's not really needed in classic as much, and I'm probably going to be posing with my glutes out this it's definitely for this first show, not like glutes flexed underneath, as the condition is not the greatest. All right, guys, that being said, I'll try and show you a physique update at the end of this video, just to show you what we're currently looking like. I'm obviously focused on the travel now, so I got a lot going on in terms of that. I need to get ready for that, as it's Wednesday and we're flying out Friday morning, so pretty much in a day's time. So that'll be the next thing on my mind. I'll try and vlog the rest of the trip going over to the UK and then into peak week. Like the video, subscribe for more. See you in the next one, guys. Alright, guys, just did my mobility, about to get into my leg session now. Just going to give you a quick physique update before I train legs, because obviously we're going to be full now with glycogen and probably going to spend all of it and more during the leg session. So I actually want to see what my physique is looking like when it's kind of fresh. So yeah, we're going to get into a physique update now. Just set up the camera. Also going to be filming on the iPhone, but I think this setup is pretty good where it's at the moment. Just going to get the iPhone setup also now, like I said. That should be good where it's at, guys. So I think the lighting's pretty good here. So yeah, we're just going to run through some poses. See, I'm looking in the mirror here, well, the reflection of the glass. So yeah, let's see what we're looking like. As you can see, we'll do some quarter turns first. Now we're going to the Enquiries. Alright guys, 2 seconds. My iPhone just stopped. Reset the iPhone, guys. Yeah. Go back into the app pose again. Now most muscular. Now favorite classic. Alright guys, let me just stop that iPhone. So obviously I can't see what we're currently looking like fully. I'm just looking at the reflection in the glass by here, but I can see a little bit and I can also feel what my physique is feeling like. Probably looks like not much water left in the frame, reason being because we did a high day. So what happens guys is the muscle is like a sponge, yeah? So it's gonna suck all that carbohydrates, all that excess water that is subcutaneously. So you got intramuscular water inside the muscle, you got subcutaneous water outside the muscle. What happens is once we start loading the carbohydrates and adding water, drinking water, because water is a transporter for the glycogen stores into the muscle, body just soaks up all that carbohydrates, all that excess water, like I said, any lingering excess water from water retention from being in a stressed state, our body holds on to water. When you add carbs back in, the body is now not stressed, so it releases all that water, you obviously piss it out, or it goes into the muscle. Then you have this like shrink wrapped sort of look, which is what I feel like I have today. But my physique I still feel is a bit on the flat side. It needs more carbs even, from my assessment looking at it now. But we're not obviously going to load too much carbohydrates because we're still digging for fat loss. So yesterday's carb up was just a tester, a little bit of a bump up in terms of glycogen. Now we're back into a deficit. Eventually, in the peak week, I feel like I will need a lot more ton of carbohydrates, obviously backing off the intensity in terms of the output as well and the training volume. That's going to help freshen up the physique, give it more of a fuller response, and also it's going to help with the uptake of the glycogen stores, rather than if your body is not relaxed state and you're adding in carbohydrates like I'm doing now, that's where you get this flat sort of look. Yeah, you're dry, but you're also flat. We don't want that, guys. We want fresh physique. So my plan of attack is obviously legs today is going to be a big one in terms of volume. It's going to gas me out, fatigue me. Tomorrow I'm going to do some cardio. We're also going to be digging into a deficit. So I want to like dig for fat loss these next couple of days. And then I really need to back off in terms of volume, intensity, let the physique freshen up going into the show, so the final week. But yeah, things are looking relatively good, guys. I'm just enjoying the process as always, enjoying coaching myself, enjoying seeing my physique change on a daily basis now, because that's what happens. At the beginning of prep, you don't see the physique change too much. Now you're starting to see changes almost daily. So it's good signs. And I keep reminding myself as well, like, yeah, I'm going back to the UK as a pro. So there's a little bit of pressure there, but realistically, guys, there is no pressure. Yeah, my family are going to see my first show in person, but again, they don't know about bodybuilding, they don't know what looks good or looks bad, so there's not real pressure on that. Why do I do what I'm doing? This is free advertising for myself, guys, for my coaching business. It shows my clients, it shows potentially new clients that I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just talking nonsense online like most of the coaches out there. I'm practicing what I preach. Everything I talk about is first-hand experience with myself and my other clients. You know, what I do, my knowledge, it works. It presents a good finished package. It presents a finished look on stage and off stage, right? I know how to lose body fat, guys. I know how to build muscle. I've done all this naturally. I have to put that in there because probably 90% of people you see in the gym, guys, are not natural. If they can show you multiple drug tests that proves their natural status, then of course you can say they're natural. I have multiple drug tests. I've done 5 drug tests, I think, now over the last few years, and I'm going to be doing another one this time around. So multiple lie detector tests, you know, I am fully natural, lifetime natural as well. So yeah, ultimately it's gonna grow my coaching business, and I just enjoy it. I like being in shape. I like the lifestyle that bodybuilding offers. If I wasn't doing this right now and I was in an off season, probably be drinking alcohol a bit too much, probably be eating too many calories in excess, gaining too much body fat. I like this lifestyle, what it gives me, guys, and I enjoy the day out and show day, getting on stage, presenting my hard work and my finished product, whether I win or lose a show. As long as I progress, I'm happy. If I come away from a show and I'm like, oh, my body's not getting better, I look worse there, then I'll start questioning myself. But that's never happened to me, guys, and I don't intend on it happening this time around. So that being said, this is the end of this video. The next video will be the travel day. It's Wednesday, like I said. We're traveling out on Friday morning, early hours. So I want to film that and show you what it's like as a bodybuilder traveling, what sort of things. It's not going to be too interesting, but maybe it is for you guys. For me, it's not. I've done it before, gone to America twice, competed over there. So this is going to be easy, guys. Only 6-hour, 7-hour flight. Yeah, America's like 15, 16 hours. That was a tough one, and yeah, I mean, it was just harder. So now I'm more equipped, more experienced, more knowledgeable. So should be good. I'm gonna miss this gym, guys, anyway, when I'm away. I'm gonna miss the weather. I'm sure it's gonna be cold back in the UK, but it'll be a nice change anyway. And then looking forward to getting back over to Dubai then, and for whatever other shows that we got. I think the time I come back to Dubai, the weather should be even colder again. I mean, it's 37 degrees now, midday, so it's pretty good, but it's going to be getting colder from here, which is only going to be good. And yeah, stay tuned, guys. See you in the next video.